I hate when I see a man that's so fine and then I pass him and he doesn't say anything. Like when people say, oh, girls don't shoot they shot. Yes, they do. If I look at you like this, like say you walking this way and I'm walking like this, and if I look at you like this, that's me shooting my shot. Come say something.
Hey everyone. Today we've got a video from men only called Modern Women Begging Men to Approach Them in Public. You know, every time I see videos like this, I can't help but think, why would any guy want to approach women when they've spent years complaining about it? Seriously, men finally listen. They start approaching, and now women are upset again. Classic, right? Alright, let's dive into the video.
I had a phone call last night with a guy from an app from Bumble, and we'd only exchanged a couple messages. He's like, do you want to hop on a call? I was like, sure, we can hop on a call. And we start talking very quickly. Like within 2 minutes, we start going into our stories because he has 3 kids. I have 1 kid. He was asking me if I'm divorced. And I was like, well, I actually didn't marry my son's father. I was married once previously. And I'm kind of like going into my story. And I know I talk fast. I wasn't even talking this fast. This is extreme. This is like TikTok fast. But I was just sharing my story. And then in the middle of it, he cuts me off and he's like, whoa, 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 Lauren, take a breath.
She's not really sharing her story with him. It feels more like she took over the conversation just to unload her problems. And when he tries to set a boundary, she just mocks him for not being her therapist.
Take a breath. And I stopped talking and I was like, okay, I'm breathing. I took a breath. And he's like, take another breath. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'll take another breath. Breathing is important to do. Do you want me to keep talking, or am I allowed to continue now? Do you not want me to talk as much? Do you not want me to talk as fast? It just felt so condescending and rude. I don't like when I don't like when anyone tells me what to do, but especially don't like when a man that I don't even know within 2 seconds of the phone call being like, take a breath. Then he kept saying, so do you want to go on a date with me? Should we go on a date? Will you go on a date with me? Absolutely not.
It seems like she was getting really emotional, and he was just trying to help her calm down. But instead of appreciating it, she takes offense, just because he won't let himself be her emotional punching bag.
This is the 5th time that I have told a guy on a dating app, hey, I really like you, like I have a good feeling about you, let's go out, let's do this, and they unmatch me. What do you want? Like, I will never understand men. Ever. Guys don't understand why we're crazy. It's you. It's you. Why do straight cis men act like some girl telling them, I have a feeling for you, is like a marriage proposal? God forbid a woman has feelings and wants to express them.
When guys tell this woman they are not attracted to her, she immediately loses it and goes on a wild rant in her car. But of course, we're the ones who are the problem, right?
Sometimes I wonder if the dating life was this bad like 20 years ago, because it's like, I don't know how to explain it, y'all. But I really don't understand how any of these men are going to get married one day, because it's like they always sexualize us or like don't want to take us serious at all. Like they just want to be friends with benefits until they're like 40. Like, and I go out, guys. I go out. I go to the gym. I do things outside. I go to school and I still don't see anybody or meet anybody. So I'm like confused. Like, where the hoes? Where the hoes? Where the hoes?
When a woman says all men only want short-term flings, it usually shows that's exactly what she's after. No wonder she can't find a man who takes her seriously. Men can tell there's nothing real there to take seriously.
I'm gonna lie, dating in this generation is so hard. Like, tell me why I went on a date, this was a week ago now, and it was such a good date. Before the date, I was really excited to see him because we had so much in common. Like, we love traveling, we've both been solo traveling, we both love fun things, we both work in finance. There's just so much that we have in common that I was like super excited to go. Date goes really well, there's no awkward silences. He's asking me loads of questions because like men don't ask questions anymore.
Women like this often put all their hopes and dreams on a first date. They get excited over good conversation, which usually just means they found the guy attractive. But they never mention how much the man was actually talking. Kinda convenient, isn't it?
Like, we left where we were and we went somewhere else. Also, if you do want to go on a first date in Manchester, Marla is such a good place to go for a first date. And we're kind of like tipsy. So we kissed. So it was a really good night. And then obviously we spent almost like maybe 4 hours, around 4 hours together. And he invited me back to his, and I was like, it's the first day. I don't want to do that. So obviously after a day, it can go well for you, but you never know how the other person interpreted the day.
The guy didn't see the date the same way. He was just there to have fun and maybe leave. That's why he was asking questions. He was just looking for some bedroom fun and playing the long game to get it. That's it.
So I was just kind of like, I'm just going to see how he goes. He told me to message him when I got home. But then I got home and I was like, do I message him? I don't know. Did he actually mean that? Did I make this whole thing up in my head? Was it actually not that good? Like, I was just like deep in everything. And then I literally just went to sleep straight after I got home. And then the next day he messaged me like morning-ish, maybe around 11 a.m. He was like, I had such a good time yesterday. I hope I get to see you again. Something like that, very sweet. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, he liked me too.
She really has no right to complain when he just asked her to let him know she got home safely. And she couldn't even send a single short text back.
And it went well. I wasn't just like imagining it. Anyways, even that Saturday, he was like, how old do you want to, like, you know, he was asking what I was doing. I was like, not much. What are you doing? He was like, not much. He's going to go for a swim later. And he kind of invited me. And I was like, oh, like, you know, I would love to. You know, what are your other plans for the rest of the day? And he's like, he's going to go meet a friend in a couple of hours. So I thought there's no point in me getting up now, getting ready just to go to yours and then have to leave like after an hour or two. Just go do your thing and then we'll plan a date some other time.
If she really wanted to see this guy, she'd be happy to spend a few hours with him. But since she wouldn't be the center of attention all night, she decided to pass. And somehow, it's still his fault things didn't work out.
That was how we left that conversation, and then we carried on talking Monday. Now, he works in a different type of finance that requires him to work long hours. So I kind of knew that like he wouldn't be able to message me properly during the week. But he kind of just stopped messaging me on Monday. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, he's just busy. Tuesday comes, no message. Wednesday comes, no message. And then Thursday, at this point, I shed one tear because I was like, I had a good time. It's a bit of a shame.
She isn't even willing to do the bare minimum to keep the conversation alive. The idea of reaching out disgusted her so much that she only messaged him after a few days of silence.
It's a bit sad, but it is what it is. It was just one day. I'm going to move on. Then I wake up Thursday morning and I was like, you know what? I'm over it now. On to the next. And then guess what I see on my phone? I see a message from him and I'm like, oh my God, like I was just starting to get over you. Let me just backtrack to how we left the conversation before he stopped messaging me. We agreed to go on a second date, and then the conversation was going in the sense of like, he was like, when are you free? And I was like, I'm free Friday, Saturday.
This is a kind of woman who expects a man to do everything, plan the dates, pay for everything, and start every conversation. And the moment he doesn't, suddenly is not a good match for her.
And I asked him, when are you free? So all he had to do was say Friday 7 or Saturday 2, whatever time it was, right? And that's when he didn't reply for like 3 days. And I was like, okay. So then on Thursday, he messaged me being like, oh, I've got plans for Saturday. Can you still do tomorrow? Which I'm kind of like, I don't like that. I was just kind of like, oh, I've got plans, which wasn't a lie, but I could have cancelled my plans, but I was just kind of like, I'm not going to cancel my plans for you when you couldn't be bothered to message me back within 3 days.
She mentioned this guy works in finance, which means long hours and very little personal time. He didn't text her because he was busy working. But apparently, having a job isn't a valid excuse for not reaching out.
So I said, I've got plans Friday, Saturday. How about next week? This was yesterday, Friday. Now it's Saturday, and he still hasn't messaged me back. Like, the avoidant in me would have just blocked him. Like, after he didn't reply to me for a day or two, I would have just blocked him because out of sight, out of mind. But I'm a recovering avoidant.
She's not a recovering avoidant. She's still actively avoiding him by not even bothering to check in. She sabotaged everything and then blames him when it all fell apart.
So I don't know how to deal with this situation without, like, reverting back to my traumatic response. So I'm trying to be grown up and understanding, but at the same time, we've only been on one date. If he doesn't want to go on a date, he just has to say he doesn't want to go on a date. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why it's so long. So yeah. What would you guys do? Do you think I should just stop messaging him altogether? Should I tell him as well? Because I was thinking, do I just be like, do you want to go on this date or not? Do you know what I mean?
It's frustrating to see women casually throw around terms like trauma response, even when they've clearly never experienced anything truly traumatic. They act like they own a word that wasn't even theirs to take.
But at the same time, we've only been on one date. I don't want to come across as like, you know? Update. He has messaged me back. He's apologized. He's explained that he's just really busy with work, and I was just overreacting. I'm glad I didn't block him. We have planned another date. I don't know what's going to happen, but I guess, like, yeah, if you're an avoidant, don't block them. Don't do it.
That whole mess could have been avoided if she had just participated in the conversation. But whatever excuse she comes up with, it doesn't matter. She's not willing to respect a good man who comes into her life.
So this man that was interested in dating me blocked me because he was like, "You're single, you got all these good qualities, what's the catch?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, why are you single? So I told him that it's hard for a lot of men to meet my non-negotiables when it comes to dating. And he said, "Well, what are they?" And I was like, "Well, one, they gotta love Jesus, and two, no physical intimacy before marriage." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And then he blocked me. And if that ain't somebody weeding themselves out, I don't know what is.
When an older woman says she's saving herself for marriage, it often means she only turned to religion after spending her prime years partying and hooking up with random attractive men. Most of the time, she's not truly religious. She's just desperate.
Also, why did you need to block me? I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me. And everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, you're going to have such a hard time in dating. You're not going to find anybody who is actually going to want to wait until marriage." Like, that's just so unrealistic. It's been done before by several very successful marriages. So if it can be done for them, it can be done for me too. So I am not going to let myself get discouraged. Is it discouraging at some times? Yes. Will I let it stop me from dating? I hope not.
Those kinds of marriages usually happen when the woman was young and hadn't been with anyone before. They tend to last longer than marriages where a woman uses religion as an excuse to treat men poorly.
Talk about the most atrocious phenomenon that I experienced when I was on Tinder. Every time I talk about men or dating, there are fucking lowlifes in my comments telling me that didn't happen, you're the problem, blah, 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 all this shit, whatever. I just want you to know, if you leave a comment like that, it's very obvious that you're a fucking loser. So anyway, I have quite a few piercings and tattoos. I'm a little bit on the edgier side. Sometimes I dress like an art teacher, yes, but
Everyone has their own taste when it comes to piercings and tattoos. But at the same time, it shows that a lot of modern women don't mind spending money on things that will often age them poorly in the near future.
I'm edgy a little bit. So, what I noticed is that a lot of Republican men are into this, okay? Not necessarily me, but the alt look, okay? So I want to preface this saying, in my bio, I literally had a line saying, "If you voted for that man, do not hit me up."
Using politics to try and shame men doesn't work. The kind of men who see through that know exactly what kind of woman they are dealing with. They'll leave her to the simps, the players, and the scammers. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode. As always, drop your thoughts and comments below. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.